Hello, it's Andrew Eborn here on Lives on Lockdown, and I'm delighted to be joined yet again by George Weiss. We've got George. You're with us. Thank you very much. We were talking beforehand. You just moved in, and your new neighbour was Peter Cook, and you came across him through your dog originally. You used to meet him in the corridors. Is that right?
Yeah, Geronimo had been my Labrador dog who came about. When was it? I think 1969. The day we supposedly landed on the moon.
Right. You say supposedly. Do you not believe that we went there?
I'm not sure about it.
Okay.
I went out that evening to a club. I think I mentioned it to you before, the Castor off Finchley Road. And I walk in there, and there's a pretty girl sitting at the bar, and I get chatting to her, and I proposed to her, and we become engaged on
that night. There's no holding you back. It was all very, very quick. You met this girl and you proposed straight away.
Yeah, she was a Jewish girl. I decided it was time for me to get married, and I told myself the first pretty Jewish girl that I meet, I'm going to get married to. So anyway.
And what did she have to say about that?
What did she have to say? Well, as I say, she fell in love with me on that first meeting, and we got engaged, and my dad supplied the engagement ring.
Right.
And it was a diamond that he didn't have in stock. She wanted a square cut diamond and a modern cut, and my dad dealt in old cut diamonds. And anyway, so he had to buy this square cut diamond for my engagement ring. And the engagement lasted for about 3 months, and then it came to an end. And I had to get the engagement ring back, otherwise I would never heard the end of it.
Well, from your father, is that?
Sorry?
From your father would never have forgiven you.
No. But she didn't want to give me back the engagement.
Well, I understand that, George. What was her name?
Hilary Gottlieb. Her father was in the fur trade.
Right.
Chelsea supporter.
Right. Okay.
Like my dad was, anyway, I've got to find a way of getting this ring back. So I go to Harrods and I buy this Labrador puppy, and I take it round to her, and she takes the puppy, but she doesn't give me the ring back.
Right.
But the next morning, the puppy's been crapping all over the house, and she begs me to come and take the puppy back, and she'll give me the ring as well. So
perfect.
That's how Geronimo came into my life, essentially, and I used to be chasing him all over the Hampstead Heath, shouting Geronimo and what have you. He was a real character.
Why did you call him Geronimo?
I don't know.
Just a great name. Yeah.
Geronimo when I was trying to get back with Penny, I bought her a Labrador puppy,
Right.
that she called Sammy. So I wanted us to get together, and Geronimo and Sammy to get together, but
Right.
I didn't get back together with Penny, but eventually I managed to get her to give me back Sammy, so that Sammy could be with Geronimo.
Right.
And Sammy and Geronimo were a lovely couple, and in 1979 they had 7 puppies together.
Good heavens! There you go.
2 boys and 5 girls.
So you're quite the matchmaker, at least in the pet world.
I was there, but towards the end of '79, again, I tried to drown myself in the Irish Sea and failed to do so, and decided to come back to London, and I wanted Penny to take Geronimo and Sammy, and she didn't, and I couldn't find anyone else to take them, and I had them both put down and together, and I think that's the last time that I've actually cried. I haven't cried since then, but in my mind I was sending their spirits back to Rainbow Land, where I'm sure all of our spirits go back to. And anyway, that's just part of the story. So after the Brighton bombing, I decided to start up my own political party, which I call Captain Rainbow's Universal Party.
Right.
Captain Rainbow is my name for the Most High God who wrote the script that the Bible's demigods and lords gods produce and direct to the letter. And anyway, that was back in end of 1985. I stood in a by-election in Enfield, Southgate, because Sir Anthony Belly had got killed in the Brighton bombing, and there was a by-election there. And my late friend David used to live in Southgate, so I thought this is all meant to be. Yes. And Captain Rainbow's Universal Party started campaigning for Britain and Ireland to join together and become the Emerald Rainbow Islands, and for Parliament to be abolished, and direct voting system to be introduced. And anyway, very forward-looking.
Yes.
I got 48.
And how many did you get? 48,000?
No, 48 votes.
but I quite like the policy though, George. I mean, you had what you called a preferendum, wasn't it, where voters, they choose the individual policies from those amongst everybody. So you basically.
A preferendum was an idea thought up by a gentleman I became friendly called Farrell.
Right.
You could check Farrell out. He was a great character, but I wasn't talking about referendum initially.
Right.
It was just abolishing Parliament and Britain and Ireland joining together to become the Weiss Emerald
Right.
Islands.
Okay.
There are many references in the Bible to the people of the islands, and I've been made to suppose that we are the people of the islands. And anyway, so I start up Captain Rainbow's Universal Party, and have spent 35 years trying to make it happen.
Right.
And along the way, I became friendly with Screaming Lord Sachs. We got together and started up the Rainbow Alliance.
Yes.
And I became friendly with an Irish crooner called Ronnie Carroll and Ian Drury, and also have had a friendship with Charles Sarchi, and have developed a friendship with the younger Sarchi brother, Phil Sarchi, who's a musician.
Right. Did the Sarchis help you with your political campaign?
Sorry?
Did the Sarchis help you with your political campaign? Because obviously they were famous for helping Maggie Thatcher in the early days.
Yeah, no. He was someone who I used to play games with. I was quite a big Scrabble player. I was my late friend David and I played over many years and kept a record over all our games. And when he died, he was 4 games behind me.
Ah.
And I went in for the national Scrabble championships, and I finished runner-up, and I should have won it. I missed a word that I had.
Oh no, what was the word you missed?
Neutrals.
Right.
And someone pointed out to me
Very,
afterwards.
very frustrating when you spotted after the event. But you played a lot of games. You said you played with Lord Lucan, the very last backgammon game he ever played.
Yeah, but my main game and my main friendships were gained at the bowling alley in Golders Green that opened in 1961. And
Right.
It was there that I met David and another friend called Peter Raymond, whose father had opened a factory in Dublin, an electronics factory called Waltham Electronics, and Peter went over to live in Dublin and work in the factory. So he was my close link to Ireland and getting involved in life in Ireland. And Peter in 1979, the day that the Pope arrived in Dublin, Peter had a stroke and has left it disabled ever since then. Peter and David were my 2 best friends.
And what were their surnames? What was David's surname?
David Miel, M-I-E-L.
And Peter?
Raymond.
Peter Raymond, that's it. And talking of Peter, I mean, you with your neighbour Peter Cook, you released an album of some of his personal home recordings with the title "Over at Rainbows," and you released that after Cook died in 1995. How did those come about?
Well, after I'd failed to write my book, I came to a point where I decided I would share what I had to share and reveal what I had to reveal in 7 tapes. I was going to put together 7 one-hour tapes called The Captain's Tapes, The Key to Rainbow Land.
Right.
And those tapes were going to be made up of mainly of conversations that were taking place in my living room. And Peter was playing along with that, and so he was coming around and we were recording conversations that were going to go on these 7 tapes. And the first tape was going to be released on April the 14th, 1986 at the Camden Palace.
Right.
And I was going to stage 7 parties there, fortnightly intervals, to
Right.
release a tape at each interval. And the last tape was going to come out on July the 10th, which was my mother's 70th birthday.
Right.
And I was looking to celebrate the whole thing by having a concert at Wembley Stadium.
Okay, that's quite ambitious.
On the 14th of July.
Yes.
And the way it worked out was if we never got past the first tape release on the 14th of April, which was my late girlfriend Penny's 35th birthday.
Right.
And it was a penny. I made it a penny to get in, but it was supposed to be £3 to get out. and it didn't work. There were about 1,000 or so people there.
Right.
And it didn't work. But the way things developed on my mother's 70th birthday, they sunk the Greenpeace ship, the Rainbow Warrior.
Right.
And April the 14th turned out to be the day after the Live Aid concert. So I'd been made to imagine a concert at Wembley Stadium that the world could tune into, but it wasn't my one. But anyway, so here I am, 35 years later, still looking to abolish Parliament, still looking for Britain and Ireland to join together and lift the way to a world of wonders.
Right.
A world which is run by a single bank with a single electronic currency, and that bank is programmed to operate as a truly loving God and look after all of us, give everybody each day their daily bread, sort of a electronic currency called the Wonders. So give everybody every day 100 wonders and create a scenario where everyone works for God's bank and God's bank works for everybody.
Right.
They're very, very lovely.
Well, no, it's great sentiments, George, and I think what's interesting as well, the world is about to have a reboot, isn't it? And I think what I love about this is the conversation where everybody should take on board all sorts of different views and see different ways of thinking. But you're quite you have a lot of exposure. You're quite a regular on a number of radio shows. Did that come about as a result of your original conversations with Peter? Because I know you used to do LBC's radio's Clive Bull show, didn't you? You used to do that with Peter Cook, and Peter used to phone up under the guise of a Norwegian fisherman called Sven, didn't he?
Yeah, no, it started off, my first calls were to a radio presenter called Mike Dickin. Did you ever know Mike Dickin?
I didn't know him personally, but knew some of his work, absolutely.
He used to do a late night music and chat program on Catful Radio.
Right.
And the first call I did to him was early in 1976. And we had a conversation, and he said to me, I don't think we're ready for you yet, George. I think you've been born too soon. I was anticipating the technology and how the technology could link the whole world together, essentially, and what have you. And the second conversation I had with him, was the only conversation that I've ever told a lie in.
Oh, what was that? What was the lie?
He was talking about extraterrestrial intelligences and stuff, and I made out that I was in communication with an extraterrestrial intelligence, and which I wasn't. I had been 6 years earlier.
So it's a timing issue rather than about the because we just had that, haven't we? There's been another announcement in the press at the moment about these UFOs which have been seen.
Yes, I've seen that, and I'm sure they're there all the time. I'm sure they're permanently involved in what is happening here. But Mike Dickin died about 10 years ago.
Right.
He took I had 5 conversations with him on Catful, and then after the last one, he wouldn't take my calls anymore.
No! What happened in that last conversation?
We had to invite people who we wanted to share a dinner party with, and I invited Jesus and Peter and Judas, and got into quite a deep conversation which he couldn't handle. I didn't know he was an atheist, but he was an atheist trying to defend Jesus and Peter against Judas, essentially.
Oh, right, okay. Well, it's probably a fascinating conversation, because I think nowadays, I mean, the more people have an open mind, which is why it's so good just to talk and to explore different ways of thinking. Because I think nowadays, question everything. I think that's what you need to sort of look at is people, whilst at the same time being very sensitive about people's own beliefs. I think that's the key, isn't it? But people having an open mind is certainly key. But so you went from that, and then LBC's Clive Bull show. And what was the first one you did with Peter on that?
I didn't do anything with Peter.
It was just taken from your home, as we understand, because that's where you got the recordings, wasn't it?
Peter would usually call from his own place, and
right.
Then we'd talk about it afterwards. But it came to a sudden end. The LBC changed ownership or something, and they refused to take my calls anymore.
But there's a pattern here. That's a bit of a shame.
Sorry?
Why did they refuse to take your calls?
I don't know.
Right. Okay.
It's never been explained to me.
Right.
And now at the moment, I don't. I try and call BBC Radio London, but they're really not open to taking my calls. So Talk Radio, I've got a relationship with Ian Lee.
Yes.
Who is and his partner Catherine Eborn. They're very rude to me.
Oh no! What did they say? What did they say?
I still call them.
Yeah.
And Talk Radio is really the only place that. Again, most of the presenters on there won't speak to me nowadays either. I used to have quite a lot of conversation with a presenter called Mike Graham, who's on there, James Whale.
Yeah, no, James, we know very well. Yeah.
But Ian Lee and Catherine Bourne and a presenter called Darryl Morris. I try and chat to them. But I mean, I've got a boring voice.
I don't think you have a boring voice at all, George. I think it's absolutely fascinating. So we're going to talk. We're going to talk a lot more about. We're going to talk a lot more about all of this. But just to finish up with Peter. So Peter Cook. So the recordings came about. So you were recording his various conversations with LBC's Clive Ball, and that then formed part of the 7 tapes that you've got. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Extracts from some of those conversations appeared on the Over Rainbows CD, which I wasn't happy with. There was a writer called John Hines who I was friendly with, but he seems to have fallen out with me recently.
Well, we must never fall out, George. We have to keep talking. I think this will be good.
Sorry?
I said we'll have to make sure that we don't fall out. I think that would be that'll be good to keep talking.
Well, I hope not. I really think that Under the Rainbow with the Spirit of Truth auditions is going to be. It's going to be terrific. It's as I say, just eight people recording, filming their auditions to play the role of the Spirit of Truth.
Yes.
I just think in the 7 minutes that I put into the script for those who will be auditioning to do, I think I will manage to say everything relevant that I've got to say.
No, I think that's wonderful. We're certainly looking at that as well, which is very interesting. But just finally on Peter Cook, then. I mean, how long did your friendship with him last?
From 1975 until he died.
So 20 years, because he died in 1995, didn't he? It's so a long friendship. And how do you remember him?
Fondly. I mean, Peter was a character, and he definitely believed in something else. He believed there was something out there, and
He was quite a talk.
I think I made him laugh more than he made me laugh.
Oh, is that right? Oh, that's certainly a brilliant thing. But he was also quite a tortured soul, wasn't he?
Yes, and drink was his problem, but I liked it. He was a really happy drunk, and was really good fun when he was drunk. Unlike Ronnie Carroll and Ian Dury and Screaming Lord Sutch. No, not Screaming. Sutch wasn't a drinker, but Ian and Ronnie were, and they were really unpleasant when they were drunk. It affects different people different ways. For me, I started smoking weed when I was 25 years old, and have smoked weed all of the time since, and enjoyed it. The only time I wasn't smoking weed was during the 6 months that trip that I was taken on, and then the first few years of my trying to write in Ireland, I wasn't smoking.
Well, we're gonna talk more about that 6-month trip, because obviously that's a catalyst for all sorts of things. But let's finish today on maybe your favourite memory of Peter Cook. What would be your favourite memory of him?
My favourite memory of Peter is the day they released the Derek and Clive Get the Horn video film, and Peter had this party beforehand. I can't even remember the name of the club that it was at, and then a party back at his house afterwards, and it was just it was just the day of that party. I think Peter could have died happily at the end of that day. It was at that party that I met Ian Dury, and I was the last to leave the party.
Right. Where was it? Where was the party held? Where was it?
I've forgotten the name of the club. It's just gone out of my head. Must be plenty of press reports at the time when they released the video. Jonathan Miller and Alan Bennett were at the party, and they never met Peter Dunn.
Right.
They were both at the party, and as I say, back at Peter's house, I was the last to leave with Ronnie Wood and Keith Richard. They had a coach parked at the top of the Mews, and Peter filmed the three of us. At the end of it. I don't have a copy of it.
Oh, I was going to ask you. That would have been brilliant to see.
It does exist, but I don't have a copy.
Well, maybe we can try and track it down. But yeah. For today, George, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to speak. We'll speak again, yeah?
Lovely. I'll say, if in any way you could start putting out that we're looking for people to audition to play the part of the spirit of truth, I think it would be interesting to see.
Absolutely. We'll keep looking for those 8 actors. I think that'll be superb.
Yeah.
Okay, George, we'll speak again. Lovely to speak.
All the best, then.
Take care. Bye-bye. So that was George, Rainbow George. It's always a delight to speak with him. We will speak with him again. We'll bring him back on and talk more about Peter Cook and the extraordinary times there, but also about the rest of the stuff. It's like a list of who's who of people at that time, from Ian Dury to various other people as well, these glorious parties. For now, that's Andrew Eborn on Lives on Lockdown. I will see you next time. Take care, be good, be safe, and see you when this is all over.